Yes, yes, y'all, you don't stop. Big John come rocking a short shot. Welcome back to Corked Stats. Fastest freaking show in MLB, absolutely anywhere. With your fucking boy, yo. With your fucking boy. Big Johnny Stud, yo, coming worldwide. What's up, me gente? This ain't freaking madness, yo.
This is Sparta!
Baseball's version of 300. Give the book nothing. Take from that bitch everything. ROI on the bets up into the double digits. Let's go. All right. Yeah, boy.
Ted! What is your profession?
Yo, bash that motherfucker's brains in. Let's go. Follow me up on Twitter at John Legazer Flow, sharper than a damn razor. Same handle over on Substack, where $2 a week get your 5 pounds of shit in a 2-pound box. Find out what all the damn hubbub is about, yo. Give yourself a leg up in the information war, know what I mean? Jelly bean, rocking and rolling, burning the candle on both ends. It's every freaking thing, yo. Check the Twitter handle and the Substack, pin posts, free samples of every fucking thing. If there was another hour in the day, I'd be doing more. And as I get more efficient with the Claude bot, we're just over fucking delivering, right? Remember, football stuff is up hot and heavy. I'm drafting every freaking day. Make no mistake. I'm drafting every day. Those ranks are re-racking constantly. I feel really good. Uploadable DraftKings and underdog stuff. And then once we get into it, projections, optimals, ladder bets, and all this shit to fucking... Cannot wait for the reception ladder season. All right, but in the time being, let's keep doing the thing we do. We almost had a monster yesterday again. He laid down the monster. Motherfucking Phillies. Obviously, 1-run leads, bottom of the ninth. Not too secure, but the rating is fucking awesome. We thought we had a clear edge later on. That sucked. Pittsburgh got out. To an early, right? Did Pittsburgh get out to an early lead? That didn't fucking last. And Seattle, who coughed it up, ended up getting it back. Sucks. We took one on the chin with the Astros yesterday. I know he got like decimated, and it looks like a terrible bet, and I get it. It's a loss is a loss. There were multiple unearned runs in the first. That ruins everything. It throws off the pitch count. Everybody's head is fucking hanging. Anyway, I think if we reran that, we might have gotten that pitch. All right, let's do the thing we do, me and you, the Corked Stats crew with the best part of waking up. Pitching sheets up in the mug, full slate today. It's a little chopped up. We got 4 early and a dirty dozen on the back end. Let's start with that after a quick run through the comments section. Appreciate you all. Jeff L. Wagwan, my friend. Whoa, Black Betty, Jabba Dam, up in the bitch. How you doing, my friend? USMC, we salute you. Sam and BE, one of my guys, capo status achieved. Speaking of capos, J Bird, how we doing, kiddo? B Rose, baby. Up in a piece, Carolina Daddy, of course. Where would we be without Adonis? Good to see everybody, yo. Yo, we're right. It's feeling good, right? You're feeling good. The work is flowing. I'll tell you, those little fucking adjustments on the model made all the difference. We all know this. Betting baseball is going to be played around the fucking margins. And now that we cleaned up the margins, feeling pretty good. Fireworks, what's going on? Let's do the damn thing that we do, yo. All right, I'm going to actually do let's go Algo first and work backwards. Listening back to the show, I've been having more success with that, just getting through all the damn work where we didn't have to finish it. And then, of course, you know, there's always a non-zero chance the fucking YouTube overlords are going to just kick us off the damn program, only to turn around to give us the green light 2 seconds later. Who the frick knows what's going on? First up is the pickle, George Kirby, the Mariners. I love the damn Mariners. What's going on, right? They pitch, they hit just enough. The bullpen's usually okay. And they keep coming in at good prices. How the hell is George Kirby minus 122 to Brandon Forever Young and the Orioles? I don't get it. I have these guys on a different, like, playing field. It's an order of magnitude. It's a different, like, stratosphere. It's a different fucking layer here. I can't get over it. I went to check the F5. You could still get minus 128. Quick derail. Fireworks ass also random. Do you not post on Sundays? No, I do. No, I don't do the betting show on Sunday. Data is 7 days a week early. I try and get out before Mass, actually. And I don't always do picks. It depends if I pick on Thursday. If I bet on Thursday, sometimes I take off Sunday. I kind of hate day betting. If I didn't bet Thursday, right, sometimes the short slate, it's all chopped up. I'm not really into that. than I usually will bet Sunday, but data and stuff and picks do go up. I've even been doing the no-show picks. Yeah. Jeff L says, where is it? I miss my boy. Oh, I moved around my freaking sound buttons and I killed it because timing is everything in comedy.
Doesn't work for me, brother.
Well, it doesn't work for us, brother. Yeah, so you're getting Kirby minus 128 against the Orioles, and I'm only kind of fading the Mariner bullpen, not just because they put the finger in the coolie yesterday. Make sure you're checking the bullpen reports. Again, the audio-only people may hear me brush past it. On the Algo tab, when you sign up for the data, and I think this really separates us from the pack because we get this in early, right? That's what it's all about. Got to get it in early, you know what I mean? When you see that frying pan emoji, that just means check the Cook bullpen report. One, it means that I've accounted for the bad bullpen. And then, two, you could actually check the damn thing. It's today is crazy. Munoz 2 of 3, Ferrer 3 of 4, Bizzardo 2 of 3, Spire 3 of 4. That's not as bad as the Padres are crazy, the Yankees are crazy today, where sometimes I mention it, we get these games where, not to say managers are ever trying to lose, but they go in knowing we're not winning this one in the bullpen. If we get it, we get it. You get what you get, and you don't get upset because you can't burn these guys out or get them hurt. I still have Seattle modeled for like a pretty easy win. I even have it expanding because I don't think much of the Baltimore pen. Again, if I'm really getting minus 120 full game, it's minus 124 full game for the Mariners. I just got the Mariners winning. Like, I'm not going to get bullied. I'm just not going to get bullied. I am going to keep the internal debate going about if I want the full game or the half game. For right now, I'm going to leave it full game because Kirby can go distance. That's generally how I like to look at it. And also Young, we've seen start to stretch out. And I want him on the way out. Like, that's an issue that we've had. I know me and Jeff, we've been joking about this for fucking years at this point. That F5 bettors do this all the time. You bet F5 under, and it goes over the next inning. You go F5 money line, it's tied, and your team scores in the sixth. That's because, it's not like some major conspiracy. It's just the way that the bet is constructed first 5 innings. We know the majority of pitchers get their fucking hook in between that 5th and 6th. Don't believe me? Go check the out props, right? Books have to put up good information. And you want that out piece. A lot of times that pitcher getting left in a little bit too long is the thing that kills them. And for a guy like Young, I think that's coming out for the 6th, right? He's okay gives up 1 through 5. They're looking pretty good. Walk, single. And we're like, oh, fuck, what if we lost? What if it's 1-0 after 5? Because, again, we don't think that much of the Seattle offense. So not to go too far into the weeds, but whenever there's, like, procedural things or execution-based stuff, that's where I like to go on the fucking tangents. So, yeah, give me Seattle to win. Wait a minute. Whoa. There she blows. Next up, Shohei Ohtani. He's on the bump for the Trolley Dodgers, leaving Hollywood minus 206 favorite on the road into Steel City to face my boy, Jared Jones and the Buccos. Plus 188 for Jared Jones is really fucking tempting. Now, where that get us with Pittsburgh yesterday? Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. Well, it's up your fucking ass, Watson. These events are independent. And if I'm not mistaken, yesterday I decided to get away from all the F5s. If you saw the live bet ticket, And we talked about Pittsburgh should have been an F5 play, but the book did the overtaxation. They ended up being right. Maybe we should have been a little less risk averse and, dug into the analysis a little bit more, because I think the F5 might have been a winner if I'm mistaken, whatever. So today, Jared Jones, the price you want to check is the F5 run line, man. It's plus 110 getting a run. And yes, Ohtani's been awesome, right? Look at the spreadsheet. He's been fantastic. Now, granted, Jones has not. But remember, he's making his return. And this is a guy with, like, pure stank. Now, I want to just pop the hood really quick on Jared Jones. Let's see what we're getting from, like, a diagnostic perspective. Again, even I shouldn't be just putting on, he's automatically awesome because I said so, right? That's not how we do things. I just know he was out there hitting 99 on the gun, which, again, is not also enough. He's got a ridiculous profile, yo. Jones is, like, literally, like, this is some of the best shit you're going to get. Right, he's throwing 99. He's got crazy spin, almost 2,600 RPM on the four-seamer, which is insane. At 6'7" in the extension, which is a way above average. It's not quite 70 elite, but he does get a crazy amount of whiffs, 25% whiff on the four-seamer, which we love because he's got an insane also combination of diagnostics, right? He doesn't just have the rise. He doesn't just have the arm side run. He's combining all of that with the velo and the spin and the extension. Jones is fucking really good. Right, Jones is really good. If you're in a fantasy league and you think somebody might be like upset because he's come out and it has been great to start, how about this? The 25 whiff on the four-seamer is the lowest you get. 35 on the slider, 46 on the changeup, 50 on the damn curveball. Jared Jones, ridiculously good. So, again, he can go out and blank anybody through 5. Don't forget, listen, I love my spreadsheets. You know what I'm saying? When I say they're the best, I'm not just saying that. I believe they are the best. That said, no one can supersede the importance of sample size, right? No matter how robust it is. In fact, the more robust a data set is on a small overall sample, the more misleading it might be. But we just got what we got. My point being, Jones went out and got fucked up against Minnesota that first game. Goes 4 1/3, gives up 5, 2 walks, 6 Ks, but a pair of dongs also. He goes into Houston, who's been hitting okay. He finishes 5, 4 hits, 2 walks, but it was scoreless, 4 strikeouts. You know, mid-70s pitches both times, 77 and 74. What I'm getting at is this is really a wheels-up situation. I gotta get a piece of that F5. Like, man, not only is it a good price, right? It's better than plus money, plus 110 to get the run to play even. I get it's the Dodgers. Just how bad is the matchup right now? Dodgers offense is crushing, man. Are they probably the best right-hand hitting team right now? Last 2 weeks, batting .308 as a squad, .858 OPS. Talk about going up against a buzzsaw. But again, I do think that this is mapped. Before we go, Algo's like, I'd like to see the Dodgers at 2 1/3 or below. Now, I might be splitting hairs where they're at 2.4 to play for that half run. But I do have the Pirates getting to 2, right? I think that's another part of this is we shouldn't automatically assign 0 runs to Ohtani where anybody can give up runs. And the Pirates have hit. There's no doubt about it. Barrels are there. OBP is there. They're taking walks. So, not to like keep trying to beat the same drum until I convince myself. I think the market's a little slow to get on the Jared Jones love. And I'll tell you what, if he goes out and throws a masterpiece, and let's say the Pirates win in a 2-1 game, which of course could happen. Of course it could happen. Jones might start getting the respect on his name that we're putting on him right now. Next up, Mike Paredes is going for the Twins. They're on the road, Detroit Rock City, to face Framber Valdez and the Tigres. You know, I forgot to check the Paredes workload. It's funny, we're entering this like time where we obviously have openers, everyone knows that, and a guy can have no starts but still be treated like a bona fide starter, which is really strange. The first time we've ever really gotten this where guys are being stretched out in follower roles to assume traditional starter roles. And I don't know if that's been the case. I just know it has been the case like 2 or 3 times already this year. And I'm tired of getting caught up. This one's like on the border. So Paredes has gone 3 2/3 in each of his appearances. So, I mean, right off the bat, that's not like traditional opener stuff. He did start 10 games for the minor league club. So there's like a little bit of telegraphing, perhaps, intentions. Then as far as pitch count goes, 65 and 50. So you don't really have the confidence for 5, but I think you're going to get a kind of a little bit of a bulkish, right? A bulkish roll. Now, this is funny because Minnesota just let go of SWR, probably with good reason. But Paredes was the long reliever. I don't know where they're going after that. So I think you're going to get some weakness in that center point for the Twins. I think the Tigers have the better offense right here. I think Framber is clearly the better pitcher. I know it's been disappointing, but he's throwing strikes. He's getting ahead. That little bit of chase with the ground balls. This was something we mentioned in the preseason. I want to hat tip. It was actually Justin Mason who put this in my the front of my brain. It got me off of Framber for fantasy, who was a guy I've generally liked, and I've been really happy about that all year. And it's the defense. Not nearly as good in Detroit as it is in Houston. And if you're going to be a contact / ground ball guy, you're going to need the defense to pick up some of the fucking slack. You know what I'm saying? And you're not always going to see that in like errors and BABIP stuff. It's guys that, well, listen, if you listen to the show, you have triple digit IQ, you kind of understand that. The first step in the outfield is tremendous. And it's not necessarily an error, right? A bad outfielders will not get the balls that good outfielders do, and it's not necessarily an error because they took the wrong path, and it's not always that like pee-pee dance, hokey pokey out in the outfield where they trip and fall and take the error or whatever. They just don't get to it. Same for shortstops. You know, it's easy. Oh, right, we watch it from the other side. We're looking for team totals, and we get a ball robbed up the middle with a stellar play. Well, guess what? MLB shortstops are supposed to be fucking good. They're supposed to make a lot of really good plays. So a guy like Framber is really sensitive to that. I don't think it's really going to matter. I just wanted to put that out there. I'm not trying to bury Framber or kind of victory lap the fantasy stuff because I do think he's going to be okay. You know, 368 ERA last 30, 119 whip, starting to clean it up. Again, the Sierra and KBB, just not great. I thought Framber had more swing and miss in the bag. Fuck, now I have to go check. As, you know, I get myself excited and smash the fucking earbud out of my ear. I'm looking at that. I'm like, yo, I pulled it so hard. I'm like, yo, the phone piece might be fucking there, and it is. How funny is that? I'll finish in the other one. I want to check the Framber swing and miss stuff, the whiff stuff, before we move on. Again, I'd just like to fill in these gaps for myself. And, yo, this secondary stuff is still getting whiffs. 31 whiff on the curveball, 320 X-Slug, that's a check. Changeup, 24 whiff, 420 X-Slug. See, that's been a little bit of a step back as far as whiff and contact. And the slider's performing really well, big time whiff on it. I don't know, you like to see him throw that pitch maybe a little bit more. It's more of just really an out pitch to lefties. Again, I don't want to bury Framber, but let's keep moving on. Detroit offense is the better offense, right, in this game. I'm not sure anyone is arguing that. Let's just check Twins versus lefties to make sure it's not a disaster for us. It's not. It's a really poor split. Framber should shove. I think we actually get the cover here. The Twins bullpen is ass. 635 ERA, last 2 weeks, 163 whip, across 51 innings, 13% walk, bottom 3 chase to go with it. They're just really bad. And they're going to need, 6 innings or something? Tigers bullpen is nothing to write home about. But the 175, minus 175, is a little bit expensive, especially considering that we're getting plus money on the run line. So 85 cents across the negative, 85 cents across the zero, let's call it. For that, those are the run line plays that I'll take. I know we're at home and we might not get the 9th frame. Hopefully it's not going to matter. The total is up at 9, and we have a good chance that Framber goes out there and just handles his beeswax. Next up, Ryan Nelson on the bump for the Snakes with shapes on their back. Arizona minus 10 both ways down in Miami to face Ryan No Me Gusto. This one I thought was a little bit off. Nelson I like. I think his style of pitching is bad for Arizona, which plays up as far as a pitcher park. Miami, not quite the same park, and I think we see that reflected in the home away stats for Nelson. Let's take a look at my boy Nelson. We could do him back-to-back. Gusto has stunk, and it's not like he's had a track record for being a really good pitcher, Ryan Gusto, So I'm not sure why he's getting the grace that he's getting. Also, I want to kind of fast forward to L7 on the offense to see. I'm trying to just fill in the gap of why. Maybe it's an offensive thing. The Diamondbacks have not hit fine, but the hard hit stuff has looked really good. The chase rate and K rate has looked really good. These are the things we want when we're looking for upward trajectory from a good offense. Not like Miami's been good either. So I'm not sure here. And again, Nelson with the 4.6 ERA, which we hate. The 118 whip is much better. I mean, Gusto's pitching to a day is a 10.8 ERA as a starter, 180 whip. He's not that bad. And he is going to throw strikes, but I think that's what we want from Arizona. I feel like the pitch to contact on our side is the stronger play. Gusto has the better elevation bin. But again, I think that Nelson stuff is thrown off by the splits here. Nelson 5.35 ERA at the crib, 3.74 on the road. And again, the last 30 he's been much better, 3.40 ERA, 108 whip, single digit KBB, 485 Sierra. So there's always those red flags. But I'm not saying this should be minus 180. I just think we're kind of a clear favorite here. Arizona bullpen has fallen apart a little bit. And they are hard to trust. I would concede that. Not sure who'd be looking me in the eye saying, well, what about Miami's awesome bullpen? This is certainly not the case. I've got Arizona for the win. I guess I like a cleaner F5. You're also getting the same price F5, meaning the minus 110, you're not getting the tax. So maybe this is a good spot for an F5. Again, granted, I don't think the Nelson-Arizona combo is some, Yankee-Dodger echelon bet here, but the public feels a little bit slow. I think, all right, let's talk a little trajectory. Right, again, this is usually where I feel like we really kind of get the gold star, right? This is where we hang our hat, this show, right? And if you're following along, it's countless at this point. Trying to be in front of moves, right? The waves, pushing and kind of pulling the fucking throttle. I know the first thing that comes to mind is the Donkey Kong Country minecart thing. You're kind of pulling the brake, and you have to know when to you could push it, but it only goes so fast. And you can pull the brake, but it only goes so slow, right? But you have to just kind of ride these waves, and try not to go off the track. And I think we were early on the bull wave Miami. That was a hit. The public was behind us. They jumped on late. I think they've plateaued. We're getting off, and we're getting ready to get on the Arizona train. We're doing a transfer right now, right? So I'm feeling confident here because when that's the base for my work, those are the ones I feel really good about when it comes to pricing. I mean, maybe we get the finger in the coolie. Always a possibility, but yeah, I feel pretty damn good about this one because I think we're in front of the wave. Arizona is showing the disciplinary stuff and the power metrics that we're looking for. And Corbin Carroll just hit a home run, which is corny, but when your superstars are starting to take it with the more macro team meta stuff, I don't know, that's when I'm all about it, right? Get them where we fit in around here. Next up, Jesus Lizard on the bump for the Fighting Phils, leaving Broad Street on the road north of the border to face the chairman of the board, Old Blue Eye, Max Scherzer on the bump for Toronto. I mean, generally, listen, Scherzer has pretty much always been good when he's been out there. Now, that wasn't the case this year, and I remember saying that because I remember writing about that for fantasy prep coming into the season. Again, support good people, doing good work. I know it's hard to ask for money in this fucked up world that we live in, but I do try and over-deliver, and I think it's fun, and I think we make money doing it. So it's football and baseball, fantasy, and betting, respectively. Right, as football gets into betting and baseball is off of betting, we are into fantasy baseball. Right now it's fantasy football and baseball betting, and then they're going to flip. And it pretty much goes all year round. And when that kind of dead spot, which I'd probably call like February, we do all the data re-racks and the model cleaning and stuff. And I don't know, I think that's why the last month is free, by the way. But I think there's enough here that if you're somewhat serious about either sport, I think there's enough to, pay the freight. So I think Luzardo not getting enough respect. We know he's got the blow-ups. Scherzer, I'm a little bit worried. Father Time has finally come to claim his, next victim. And he's also in the debut start. So I think, I know there's going to be a lot of people excited to fade Jesus Luzardo. And I think there's reason for that a lot of times. But I'm pumping the brakes because I think he's going to get touched. We've been a little hot on the Phillies offense. We're kind of waiting. That cruise ship has been a little bit slow to turn around. Again, the disciplinary stuff has been really bad for the Phillies, and that's always going to cap you from taking that next leg up. Toronto's been okay, but the lefty stuff is really brutal. Last 30 and all year, last 260 PAs, 30 days versus Southpaws for the Jays, batting 205 with a sub 600 OPS. Nearly 20 KBB, 33 and a half chase, and it was not good. Too many ground balls, not enough barrels. And now, Luzardo, though, if I'm not mistaken, we're actually on the wrong side of a split. So, this is the home-away split. Oh, no, I'm sorry. It's the other way. Luzardo is the road warrior. Call up Hawk and Animal. Paint your faces. Get your spiked shoulder pads. What a rush. Luzardo, 7.34 ERA at home. 1.54 road ERA. Yeah, why aren't more people into Luzardo right now? I thought I was going up against that trend. And I don't care about the Scherzer home road stuff. It's too small of a sample. If he's going to be good, he's going to be good. But I'm fading everybody into the debut. So I'm not feeling the Jays offense. I'm not really feeling Scherzer. I think Luzardo's bad stats are skewed by tremendous blow-ups, which kind of comes with the territory. And I know the Philly bullpen blew it first yesterday, you motherfucker. But I still think they're the better pen. I think the Phillies get it done. Algo is like giving me a look that's like, yo, man, I wouldn't be paying the juice. I wouldn't be paying for the cover is what I meant. Sorry, I choked myself up there. What did we have on a run line before? Detroit, there's your chalky, corny kind of pairing. Right, you go Philly and Detroit. You pin the two, whatever, minus 150s together. Money's actually coming in on Toronto. Philly's in at minus 140. So I would actually pump the brakes on that. I don't want to pair if I don't have to. And if we could get a little more and the Phillies get to minus 135, I would just smash that. Detroit, by the way, got to minus 175, so I misquoted anyway. If you were to pair them together at the two prices I mentioned, you're getting plus 170. I don't know how I like to play that. We'll see. If there's another pair, I would probably still go Detroit cover and look to pair Philly somewhere else. I may just leave Philly on the cutting room floor. I'm not actually sure how confident I am. Next, ARP. Cardinals on the road in New York. Nailed that one yesterday, right? Underdog win, and that was an easy fucking smash. Andre Palante on the bump for the Redbirds. They're, like I said, in Queens against Christian Great Scott in the Let's Go Mets Go. Minus 135. Mets at the crib. Hold on, let me just double check. I had Scott. I'm seeing Austin Warren coming up. Shit, give me a second. Is Scott following? Is he hurt? He's on regular rest. Give me 1 second. Let's try and clear this up because there's a... Oh, okay. Christian Scott bumped back to Thursday. So that's like official. That's right. From SNY is the Mets TV network. Verified. Okay, so I have to re-rack this. I'm sorry. I wonder if that means they're going Mania. Maybe Peterson. Peterson hasn't pitched in a while. Maybe that's my guess. Peterson last pitched on the 31st. So he's more than rested. I know they've been talking about trying to get Mania work. Let me see when the last time he went is. Mania last went on... No, he's not going to pitch. He threw 4 innings on 6-10. So my assumption is it's... Peterson to follow Warren, and isn't that weird? That feels weird to me. Let me just double check projected lineups. Sorry, I know we're going on a little bit of a wild ride. That is fucking strange to me because we're expecting, right? Expectations are Cardinals would be going Weatherholt, Burleson, and Nootbaar somewhere in the first five. Almost certainly Weatherholt and Burleson, two of the first three. I mean, Weatherholt is the leadoff guy. Burleson's hit third 17 of the last 20 games. Weird to go righty there. I don't know if the Mets are galbraining, feeling forced into an opener. Maybe it's to throw them off. I'm not sure. Anyway, wind blowing out in New York. That park, I know is not great for hitting, but it will play up when the wind's going out. Now, I didn't get the sun emoji, but I think it might be kind of warm. Nah, it's in the 70s. I don't go nuts till we're in the mid or upper 80s. Palante more of a pitch to contact guy than anything. I've always called him just a guy. I think he's outkicking the coverage a little bit. I've got him as more like a 4.25 ERA guy, where Sierra and the Clawbot have him. My indicator's right around 4, so I guess it's kind of believing what we see. I don't like the lack of chase, and he doesn't really have the elite command I like from this type of profile, where it's all contact. I guess he suppresses it, so that's been a saving grace. But he does give up. Okay, he doesn't give up a lot of home runs. He gives up a lot of home runs for a guy with a 51 ground ball rate because the misses are bad. He just is not putting guys away. So when he finds himself in bad counts with guys with really good discipline, he finds himself in bad spots a lot. I think that's what it is. Now, he's been very good on the road this year, but I think Christian Scott is the much better pitcher. He's had some struggles a little bit, and that's maybe to be expected with the career arc. Maybe I'm making excuses for him. I don't know. I think he's kind of filthy. I also think the walk rate is inflated for the sub-37 ball. Right, they have the same exact ball rate, and Christian Scott's walk rate is, 3 fucking full ticks higher than Palante. If we're looking at offenses, you got to go Metsies. I just like the stylistic matchup yesterday, the matrix that we were on yesterday. But I'm not really into the Cardinals offense. They're okay. I think we caught a dead cat bounce on a down leg. Not say we were lucky, but it worked out. The play kind of worked out. They're really swinging the stick last 7, but it's not all the stuff that I love. It's a total lack of power. We love that they're stealing, and we love the discipline. So this really is a throwback to the original arc that we caught this year, right? That original leg up. So it's not like we're selling out in the Cardinals, and I don't like to give out too many mixed signals, but again, life is oftentimes like a shade of gray. The Cardinals are not dog shit, but they're not what you see here. And again, this is where, to me, WRC Plus is a little misleading, because you see 140 WRC Plus, you're like, holy shit, this team rakes. And it's like, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going. I don't know if I'm going there. Again, the Mets just perpetually fucking disappointing. But they have hit lefties for power the last 2 weeks. I really like what I've seen from Benj. I really like, the Soto stuff, obviously. So I think the Mets are good to go here. I think they win. I actually like the minus 135. If money keeps coming in them, I'm going to be turned off. And then we're going to find ourselves in that same fucking spot of it's part of an ugly parlay, or, you're paying juice on 2 teams, which again, right? Shout out to the fucking boomer quants that roll their eyes every time I make this fucking point, which I don't understand. The premise of not pairing favorites, and maybe it's missing a caveat, or maybe I'm not understanding something. Really briefly, right? If you have 2 favorites, by definition, you have to pay juice for them. So by definition, no matter how you're betting them, either straight, meaning 1 unit on each, or to win 1 unit, right? Which are not the only 2 ways to play, but those are the 2 standards, right? A straight bet or, kind of to win. Or even right, if you're doing a risk factor stuff. They're favorites. So again, by definition, I'm trying to stay in my lane here. You need to hit both to be profitable in that venture. Maybe this is where we disagree. I, as a trader, tend to look at each day as an individual event, right? That's why I limit my plays in terms of risk and not in number, right? And I think this is where, again, where we separate from the pack, right? People will say, you should bet everything that you have an edge on. So, like, yeah, I would agree with that. I limit that at daily risk allotment, right? These are really good fucking tips here. So, like, where I would disagree with some volume players, not going to call anybody out, or the unit player that might have 25 plays in a day. If a unit is a percent, are you really risking 25% of your stack in one day? Yeah, I get like it's never happened. I've never gone down all of it. What if it happens? You're gonna go out of fucking business? Like, you can't do that. So I meet the criteria of betting every play that meets a plus EV calculation, but I find those first and work it backwards from a daily risk allotment. Now that I have within a range generally for everyday events, meaning baseball and trading. I had to learn this with football the hard way. It's like 3.5% to 5%. Now, you don't have to meet the 3.5%. If you don't like something, you don't bet it. But meaning, in standard practice, standard operating procedure. But 5% risk, once you're over 5% risk, the road to ruin really, it escalates, and you'd be surprised how fucked you can get. And again, remember, keep in mind, every time you lose $10, you need 11% to get it back in terms of percentage. Not $10, 10%, I'm sorry. Right, you lose 10%, 10 down the 100 down the 90. You need 11% to get back to that. And even then, you're still a Conte short. So risk allotment is my kind of ceiling. And again, maybe that's where I detour from the quants. But so my answer has always been, if I need to hit both to win, then why shouldn't I just pair and lower risk? I can even put the risk lower than the neutral events, the 1-in-1 events. I shouldn't call it neutral, I'm sorry. But the split event, and call it a day. So again, just food for thought. I'm not saying I'm right and they're wrong, but I wanted everyone out there to hear the case for it. So press the fucking like button, goddammit. Who does this shit? Comments building up. I can't catch them, though. I have to just check and make sure people aren't like, you're a ridiculous person and I can't hear what you're saying. No, we're good. It looks like Peters. I just clicked over. It looked like Peterson was catching a bunch of strays. Yeah, he has not been good. Oh, but he's also been crazy good at certain points. Anyway, let's get back into it. Again, there's a place for everything. Parlays and volume or not, as long as you're playing responsibly, which always has been the most important thing for me to you. Yeah, I think the Mets would. Let me fill up my little show pick sheet. Again, I was getting some questions on this yesterday. So just briefly, every day I do the show, I work the show pick, right? Which is like the show-based analysis pick. I don't always pick something, but I generally put a play. My favorite play, analytically, after taking a good look at it. Because someone asked, I didn't see all your bets or something. And I want to make sure that we're very clear because transparency is important. But the show pick is not a recorded pick. Those are just up there. Those are recommendations. People like to see how I read the model. People see it as a way to fast forward the show. That's fine. Generally, the show picks the recorded picks come from those. But you will always get an email with the recorded picks. There's no backdoor picks. There's nothing really added. I'll send it another one if I do. That's why I try and have all my ducks in a row and be very consistent. I think that's important. Also, don't wait for an email for the data in the morning. By 8:30, everything is up. And for my DGens, it usually starts between 6 and 7. The updates are coming. I've even been putting the pitching sheets up the night before for my Source Network crew. People that are doing stuff the night before. I like to have the pitching stuff up for everybody. Shout out to my guy Toast and TV Jones and Spoon and all the Source Network cats, listeners included. Y'all, appreciate you. Okay, next up, Mackenzie Gore on the bump for the Rangers. They're on the road in Kansas City to face Seth Lugo. I just stepped on the damn rake. with Gore, his last time out. And it's funny, just because he was bad last time doesn't mean you should fade him this time. He's an up and down kind of erratic guy. It just sucks because in the first inning, a lot of times if Gore comes out and he looks sharp, whoa, he's gonna have an awesome start. And the second he's like walking guys, I was like, you legit know immediately, and he destroyed us. Double win factor in this one. Took all the totals to 5.5 and 10. I'm not touching this at all. I'd be looking for bases. I'm gonna have those out in a little bit. I'll be looking for hit and run ribbies in this one. Again, Gore, I don't know how do you break down Gore. Gore's got great stuff at points. Still gets, again, the swing and miss is starting to get worrisome. We like the 25% K, but sub 11 swing and strike, that's not really sustainable, right? If you have a 32.5 chase, that dog don't hunt, And Lugo, the 3.9 ERA is the best part of it. The indicators are crappy. The velo is down. The swing and strikes are gone. The chase is gone. It's batting practice. He's getting barreled up and getting destroyed. So for me, it's really all runs. I want to take a quick look at the team totals before we move on, because that's really the only thing I want. I'm trying not to get sucked into the money line side on Gore. I think Texas has the better pen. I think Gore is the better pitcher. I think Texas might even be the better offense. For the record, Texas is 5.5 plus 110. Maybe this one, I'm going to put, you know what this one is? I got this one for both teams to score. Right, I'd be curious what it looks like. I'm not sure what it looks like. Well, do you get plus money on a 4? How juiced is the 3? Again, I think Texas wins. But to me, it's really pushing the freaking envelope. Kansas City, they haven't even hit lefties, but what have they done? They've been disciplined, which is the worst part of Gore's game, right? He's wild. They're not really chasing, right? They're making contact, not striking out, and he needs that. They're pulling balls, so I don't know. I worry. And the Rangers offense has been asked. They just returned pieces, so I don't want to overreact, but the L7 has not been great either. But the Rangers offense is it whole? It's whole again, right? We made them whole again. Opened the books, made them whole, right? Yeah, Seager is back. Langford is back. Carter was down, and he's back. They did send Jansen to the IL, but that was kind of inevitable if you followed that guy's career at all. So let's just move on. I got Texas to win. I think it's both teams to score. I don't want to pay for the 11th run. I don't like anything about this. I didn't hit any of the dollar parlays, those 10-time dollar parlays, but this is another good spot for it. We've seen the Kansas City bullpen absolutely implode at points, and that's how you hit all those. The highest team score and all that shit, right, with these terrible bullpens, and Kansas City is certainly one of those. Next up, Chris Sale in the bump for the Bravos. They're minus 155 favorites on the road in Chicago to face the White Sox and Davis Martin. As much as I love Sale, and I'm a huge honk, look at the model pricing. It speaks for itself. I haven't landed a win, but this is bad chalk, I think, if you're paying that heavy price. Martin is legit good. And that under 4 F5 is too low, because these are two legit good offenses. Anybody can give up those runs, but that's still my play. My play is still under 4. Sale is ridiculously good, and even though is he coming off a bad start? I think he's coming off a bad start. I think we took that one in the chin, but whatever. If you hit 8 in a row and the guy finally gets hit up, it's not like you're getting ready to bail on like one of the best pitchers in the freaking game today. Martin, though, is the undersung piece here. 261 ERA. Sorry, I hit the bar incorrectly. 261 ERA, 111 whip for Martin. All the indicators are really solid, 3.5 or below, 19.5 KBB, 12.8 swing and strike. A lot of these numbers are comparable to Chris Sale. He's right behind him. Now, he's behind him in everything, but he's right behind him in everything. Martin is legit good. Man, my Fangraphs is acting a little funky monkey right now, man. I hope I can just do the launch pad McQuack and land this fucking thing. let me hustle up. So yeah, to me it's an under or nothing. I could smell the argument for the run line, F5 run line on the White Sox. I'm not seeing it though. That would have to be price driven. Ooh, minus 115 is where it starts to get interesting to go up against Sale. I'd rather go with the 4 because, the Braves ahead 1-zip. There's way too many easily digestible outcomes that satisfy the under 4 where that any of those White Sox bets suck, right? I wonder if anybody, man, I know Acuna is not going to play either, right? Whatever, it's still a boost for the under. It's certainly not bullish for the scoring, right? I think that's got to be fair. So I don't usually do this. But I got the under 4. I'm trying to open my mind to the under 4. And when I can get everything rolling, I'm going to price check on the 4.5 because, you always just want to be hip to what's out there. Next up, Shota Imanaga on the bump for the Baby Bears. They're on the road in Colorado to face Mikey Lorenzen and the Rocks. I mean, Colorado disappointed yesterday as far as offense goes. Wind, okay, so it's still going to be hot. The wind is blowing left to right, but I still worry pitching Imanaga. I would not pay you the freight for this one. This one's an easy kind of over or nothing. Imanaga, for me, is really temperature sensitive because he's such a fly ball guy. And we've seen the Rockies, they've been home for a minute. They're starting to hit, right? This is where you want to be careful of this. If we can get any kind of discounts on the team totals, that's where I'd want to be. Cubs are at 6.5 minus 125. Holy crap. Rockies are at 5.5 plus 105. So, man, there might be a properly priced 4.5 hanging out there. If it's minus 160, I'm out. But if it's minus 145, that's something that I would like. I think they get there. Right? These are the times to remember, baby. I mean, Cubs have hit, so you got to think they score there too. So if you want to push that there's a strong case for an over, I'll pick up what you're putting down. I hear you barking, dog. Cubs off, bullpen is okay, but nobody beats Coors. The Rockies bullpen's atrocious. They have a nearly 9 ERA and a nearly 2 whip through 47 2/3. They're ass. And again, this is not the highest IQ analysis that you're going to get, but I love the buy low in Coors. I really do. The Cubs just scored 3. They're going to score fucking 12 today. You know what I mean? I forget who it was, man. Shame on me. I juggle so many balls. Pod DJ says, you're a ridiculous person, John. You'd be correct. You'd be correct. I don't know what I said. They got me there, but you'd absolutely be correct. I love it. Thank you. Let's fucking get him here. Holy shit. You're fucking killing me. Okay, it was somebody mentioning how alt bets are profitable. I know I was mentioning, but somebody was in the comment section. And maybe those are on the table sometimes. Right, where it almost... Okay, so it's almost to me like once the Cubs get to, what I say, they're 6.5. Once they get to 7, they're almost just as likely to get to fucking 12. Meaning all hell is broken loose, the environment is playing up, and the other team is surrendered, right? They're in the ass end of the bullpen, they're putting position players out there, right? So you're just like, fuck it. Can you get, right? That's when you start getting like plus 420, right? You're getting these awesome fucking hits. So I think that's another way to skin this cat without scratching its asshole is bet the 10 times on drafters.com. The hit run ribby pairings, I think those are certainly in play. You don't get a great deal. Maybe you have to go to 3 instead of 4, but I think those are in play. Plus, they let you pair them on the same team, and I don't think you pay a proper correlation tax. So, whatever. I'm spending too much time on these stupid games. These games are so stupid. I mean, once there's the total over fucking 12, it's a waste of your time. Speaking of which, Next up, have you ever seen a 14.5 on the board? Now remember, they didn't get there yesterday. Funny, my guy and yours, John Anderson. Make sure you're following him up. He powers some of the data here. My guy is the dude at JONPGH on Twitter, or you could search MLB Data Warehouse. Pretty much anywhere. Johnny's doing ridiculous work. If you're playing DFS, he's got the greatest shit ever. It is legit unmatched. There is absolutely nothing like it, right? My stuff doesn't get down on a player level like that for hitters where you want that. He's got all the DFS stuff. It is absolutely crazy. And he's a good dude, man. Shout out my guy, John. He was tweeting that this is before yesterday's game, or it might have been before today's game. Either way, I think it was before yesterday's. I think he might even nailed it. Don't be surprised. A stadium is only responsible for so much. Don't be surprised if this one ends at 12 runs. And I think he nailed it, by the way. So this one's at 14.5. I don't know who's going over 14.5, especially, again, this is another one, right? Once we've hit 14.5 runs, I'm having a really hard time. I hate pushing parlays on people. That's right. I don't push lotto shit or irresponsible at all, right? So I think this is parlaying but responsible. You have a hard time selling me on the fact that I don't know. Shit. I wish I could do it in real time. How many base hit parlays do we need to get to the minus 110 that you need 15 runs for? Is it 3? How many hit run ribbies do you think we need? Probably only 2. Right, you might only need 2 to get you to minus 110. You have a hard time selling me that there's a better chance of a game getting to 15 than, me hitting the hit run ribby stuff. And the more I think about it, me round robining those player parlays on fucking drafters or prize picks or whatever, where, you're getting your strongest 4 or maybe your strongest 5 and doing round robins of 4 because one hit clears you and you leave the door open to hit them all. Right? If you had those in the first game, deal or blackjack. Well, deal or bust. What a fucking idiot. Anyway. In these circus games that we hate to try and analyze pitching and stuff, I think the open menus and all these new sites, I think they still give you a pathway to attack without I'm confident in 15 runs. Well, holy shit, really? Really? Damn. That's a lot of fucking offense, yo. That's a lot of offense. Last but not least, my guy Peter Lambert. He's on the bump for the Stros. They're on the road against our guy Reed Detmers. On the bump for the Angels, minus 122 for the home team. I was surprised to see the 4.5. If it's still out there, I'll be just as surprised. It's starting to catch juice, so that's my play. Let's not bury the lead. Hit that one. Hit it and quit it. We want Houston and LA, F5U, 4.5. Lambert does not get enough love. He's good at baseball. Angels hit yesterday. I think they blew their load. We don't really buy what we're seeing from that offense. They strike out too much. They chase too much. They lose in the zone. They're not a good offense. Again, they sell out, and they're going to have games where they blow up. And like yesterday, if you're going to kick the ball around the yard and start giving up fucking unearned runs, yes, most offenses are going to stick the finger in the coolie when you have to get 6 outs in an inning or whatever. Fucking stupid stuff. So Lambert's, again, pitching really well. The command and control I'd like to see cleaned up again. I think the walk rate a little disproportionate, but it hasn't been great. It hasn't been great. He keeps it down. He's really hard to get a hold of. Very hard to barrel. Very hard to pull. I think he's not the better pitcher in this, right? I think Detmer should be favored. And I think at the price, I don't hate LA F5. I wouldn't want to back this LA bullpen against this Houston bullpen, which is now kind of back on track with Hader back there. But you're getting the same price, minus 122. So I actually like both those. I like Lambert, but it's not as a shutdown. I like Detmers as a shutdown. I don't think we get 5 runs here. So I don't normally double up plays, but I actually do like that one. And it's funny, they're both the same cost. So both of these plays are minus 122. I like LA F5. I also like them with the under Maybe we could pair these. How about that? You could pair that for plus 260, which I think is an interesting play. A lot of runouts where, this one is 2-zip, 3-zip, 2-1, 2-zip. And we smash the F out of it. Again, I think if you're playing full game, you're playing with a little bit of fire because the Angels bullpen is not great. I'm tempted to go under the 8.5. Also, I think plays. If Detmers is good, you got the favorite at home, and you skip the 9th frame. That shit is up to 9 now. Okay, so here's one quick thing. I don't think I can pay a juiced 4.5 if there's if 9s are out there. All right, I'm going to have to investigate. I'm going to do some price investigations because I'm way under. I was thinking about under 8.5. I'm definitely under the 9. Again, especially with the favorite at home. Maybe the public is on this like Houston bad bullpen thing, and I don't think that's the case. Just shooting over to the comments. I see. I'm a national treasure. Thank you, Caleb. I also see mention of the cartel. Don and Water, what's going on, kid? You want to be a friend of the cartel? Time to make yourself useful. I think I missed a reference there somewhere. But the comment stuff is going nuts. Matty Ice, welcome aboard, man. Love the show and the energy. Quick question. Does the database take batter versus pitcher pass history into account? Just curious. Thank you, man. The answer is no. And it should not. I know it doesn't, and it should not. As tempting as it is, it doesn't test out. Now, I am in the camp of people. It has to be a very special situation where you're literally coin flipping players that have the side split, that have the regular everything matching up, and they have that. That's a different story because hitters have come out and said, I see the ball well out of this guy's hand. It is real. But the sample itself on a larger set is not big enough to test out. Go follow our guy, Lindy, Eric Lindquist. Follow Eric. He was just talking about this yesterday. Okay, he had a Matt Olson home run. Again, I don't mind shouting people out. He had a Matt Olson home run, and Olson had terrible BVP. People have talked about that. And somebody even tweeted, wow, I'm surprised he hit that because the BVP was so bad. It's not just me. Eric asked Derek Hardy, search BVP. So don't take my word for it. Search the expert. Derek Hardy's just about as close as we're going to get. He's a fucking genius and a man, nice guy, and he will present his work. So, no, don't count BVP stuff. Don't. It's not good. It's not good. All right, let's do a quick algo read. I'm going to get this bitch out of here in the next 90 seconds before. So let's do an afternoon parlay. Skyrockets in flight. Afternoon delight coming at you. Oh, he was talking about Detmers versus the Astros team. The problem is, man, again, the samples are just not great. But the other part of why it's real, is, especially the Astros, are known. You might be picking up on something. So again, that's why you don't throw it away, because he might be tipping something, right? But again, a tip is not a BVP. It doesn't mean you hit him. It's they have a number. Again, that's where we get into the weeds a little bit and why you want to be careful. All right, the quickest of afternoon parlays. Red Sox are at the Rays. I can't believe the Rays are minus 118. I know the bullpen has been kind of ass, but for me, it's definitely Rays F5. Rays F5 ML. I'll give you a little bit of juice to get out to avoid the bullpen. We don't want a war later on. Drew Rasmussen clearly better than Jake Bennett. Carlos Rodon is on the road for the Yankees. They're underdogs to the freaking Guardians. And man, I would love to bet the Guardians, but I want them in as an underdog. And that's killing me. Yankees have the bullpen emoji. Their bullpen is wrecked. I don't know. I was kind of looking at the under. That's where I think I am. And I like Messick, but I think all this is being shortchanged. I think we're shitting on the Yankee offense. I think their bullpen is going to surrender today. Well, I didn't finish in the hour. Jay Main asking how Peralta and Warren are the same price. I don't know. Honestly, I don't get any of that. There's been a lot of this lately, but we're winning bets, so I'm just kind of rolling with the tide. I don't understand. We've been covering this in real time. There are plenty of prices. I'm like, what the fuck is that? What is it? I don't know. I don't know. I'm torn on the Yankees and Guardians. I don't think I would touch this. If we're playing the model, we're to the over. Then it's the Winged Lion, Forster Griffin, and the Nats. They're on the road against Robbie Ray and the Gigantes. I'm just betting the Nats until it doesn't work. Right? I've got the Nats again. And if you're not buying Forster Griffin, we got the Nats to score. Pod DJ and go with the flow. On the trading floor, we'd say the trend is our friend. Exactly, yo. You got to ride the wave. You got to, again, I just mentioned, I keep doing these surfer analogies. Trust me, I'm entirely too fat to surf. I would get thrown back onto the fucking beach. You know what I mean? But it's the truth, right? And because there's a lot of good analogies with that. You gotta write that mind card. I mean, you gotta push when it's time to push, and you gotta know when to pull back. Almost there's a good analogy with running backs in football, right? It's not always just smash forward. That's not how it works. It's you need to know when to break gas, shift laterally, right? Wait for things to develop, find hole, hit hole. Hit hole fast, break, lateral shift, then break right. You know, so that was a much better analogy for execution and riding waves is letting things come to us. And I don't know, I think the public is still shortchanging the Nats. Maybe they still see Robbie Ray as like name brand. I think you've got the pitching edge. I know the bullpen is whack, but the Giants bullpen may be worse than anybody's. So I like Nats in the over. I got the Nats here for sure. Then the Brady Wedding Singer on the road for the Reds there in San Diego to face Michael King and the Padres. We got to wreck the bullpens on both sides. I just give me the over. Anytime Brady Singer is pitching, I'm down for the over. Maybe my favorite bet though might be the Padres team total, just in case King goes out and shoves. Man, I would love that. Yo, Pod, you got to hit him up and ask him. I get no motion in fantasy football. Fantasy football is very gate kept, right? Is the word. And I'm not mean to say it's even done on purpose. There's a people have made it, and that is like a bubble, and that bubble is hard to break. You know what I'm saying? And like, I have some of the weird, stupid credentials that you think people care about, right? FSWA nominated, NFL Writer of the Year. I'm a columnist at the fucking Athletic for whatever that means. And Matthew Berry's Fantasy Life. I know that and $2 get you on the fucking bus. Actually, $3 now. But yeah, I get no motion in fantasy football. I get no motion. I made an underdog puppy final table. Like I don't even know whatever this should be. Fireworks asking for a recap. Yeah, let's do it. I'll recap it from the beginning because that parlay I don't feel great about. Don't expect me to print those, but if you're chasing, we like to raise at 5. I may bet that one actually because I actually like that play. The Yankees and Guards, like I said, I'm leaning over. Nats, I think, win as underdogs against the Giants. If not, Nats to score. Reds and Padres are going over. Mariners win, even with the bad pen. If you get a good price, you take the F5. Pirates keep it close. F5 versus the Dodgers. Jared Jones is too cheap. Detroit kills the Twins. Arizona wins on the road versus Miami. Phillies win on the road against Toronto. Careful with the juice. Mets win at home versus the Cardinals. Scott over Palante. Texas and KC, for me, it's like those hitter parlays. I wouldn't both teams to score. I don't know, nothing. Braves and the White Sox play to the under. Again, the Cubs game, the Rockies game, the A's game, those bullshit games don't bother you. Those are over or nothing, and they're too high to bet on. And I think Houston and LA go under also. So that'll do it. Let's get the hell out of here. Appreciate everybody. Yeah, again, you people would be surprised. You'd legit be surprised how far, like a mention on social media goes. So we're all being conditioned now to just doom scroll right past every corporate ad, anything that looks like a subscription thing, to just go right past it. But people that actually take time to write this, I don't need a novella. In fact, too much is no good either. The quick hit. This guy's one of us, down to earth, whatever. I don't give a fuck, That shit works. If anything, it puts the gatekeepers, and I'm not trying to call Sig, I really like him. I think he'd have a blast with me on the fucking couch. I got some fucking story, yo. I got a fucking sub story, yo. Honestly, I got some fucking story. I'll do the shit with the fucking polygraph with 2 different ones on me at any time. But yeah, that bubble's hard to bust, but we're going to just keep doing our thing. In fact, I may even push back that I think, and again, I got, the proofs in the pudding. Like, we got really good fantasy proof. We've got wins in the betting streets with projections. I think our stuff's very strong. I think following my fantasy stuff in football may actually be a little bit of an edge because it's different than everything else. Like, you have all these, and again, it's a lot of smart people. But when all the smart people start agreeing with each other, it pulls, right? So I'm not trying to insult them here, right? It's just really, it's a hat tip, right? I'm jealous, right? They're not only good at what they do, they move fucking markets and they're popular. So I don't want to make this like, John's talking shit. I'm jealous. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm talking shit. As a jealous bitch, I'm punching up. But this is also the truth, right? When you find the people in the analysis that creates momentum, you have to find your plays that buck that, because that's where the real value is. So I've been taking note of all that stuff. I'm going to try and get some of the really big names up in the chair for fantasy football. And I think it'll be really good. So let's get the fuck out of here. Oh, Jay. Yo, Jay. Yo. I see what you did there, bro. He used the G word. Oh, no. Is it a lock? I'm telling you, I heard that's what if this thing went blank, that'd be funny, but it will also be good to know. So if anyone was wondering, because we're already over the time limit, so whatever. Jay, I appreciate you, bro. It shows I love you, man. One of us. Yeah, pod DJ and too much groupthink. Well, it's okay to follow smart people, but you have to just watch the pendulum, right? That's why price matters. I got stricken, whatever the word is. I was struck down by the YouTube overlords in real time. So now this is 3 times I've been taken down live. The other 2 times were pre-recorded live. So I thought maybe that was the issue. I was an electrician in another life. Troubleshooting is my thing. So this 3rd time was unique. I was live streaming, actually. It goes blank. Both of the other times, they have an instant appeal. It's automated. The instant appeal immediately clear. It takes like fucking 30 seconds. But you took the video down, you cocksuckers. You know what I'm saying? This time, 3rd time, I thought, oh shit. It was a different warning also. Copyright stuff or gambling stuff. I said, oh shit. Auto appeal, automatic in. Fine, after 5 seconds. So like, what I don't understand is, and the explanation they gave us was you can't say that you guarantee picks. That's what I was getting at with the comment. So I don't know what it is. If we get struck down from now on, I will finish the show without trying to complain. It will get reposted under the video tab, not the live tab on the same channel. And then I release the podcast in full. So, whatever. It doesn't really interrupt the content as much as it's just a freaking pain in the ass. So, all right, everybody. Yo, Steve, good to see you, brother. Everyone have a great day. And Jay, I just really, 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 really appreciate it. Trent says, another great yesterday. Watch the roller coaster ride today. Yo, I'm worried. I'm always worried. But you know what? The best fighters will tell you that their knees knock before the big bouts, right? We don't want to be like, oh, I smeared. I hit every bet. We go in nervous, right? Once the bets are in, we go in nervous. Especially because we're not the type to, I'm not, and I don't suggest anyone do this, is to over-lever live, right? People do that, and I don't think you should. Like, I know people that they'll bet something heavy, and it goes against them. Oh, I got great number. I liked it. If I liked it at minus 150, it's only the first inning. We're down 4. Of course I like it at plus 240. And I'm like, all right, there's something to be said about that in the first. But if you're going to keep feeding the monster, again, you don't want to be irresponsible. So that will do it. Let's get out of here. Man, it is. Actually, maybe we are getting close to madness.
This is Sparta!
But it's still fucking Sparta. So thanks for picking up what I'm putting down. Sorry to go over the hour. I'm going to try and be more brief. But between the game breakdowns and the analytics plus the execution, right? There's so much happening. Press the cartoon like button, matters more than it should. Check out the pod if you want the abbreviated version of this. Check out the Twitter handle or the Substack if you want to see samples of the goodies. And, let me know what's missing and I'll fucking add it. Again, football going hot and heavy. Let's win some bets, people. Enjoy the games, enjoy the day. When we're done with the book, enjoy the pay. And remember, When you work this freaking hard, the winning feels a lot less like luck. Yo, peace.